dead as a trailer rams a motorcycle. 3 people, including 2 brothers and a young woman, have been confirmed dead after a Dangote truck ran over their motorcycle along the Gboko Aliade road in Benue State on Friday. The victims, identified as Ogem and Andozingwe Ugondo of Mbatan kindred in Mbayon, were killed instantly alongside the female passenger who was reportedly given a lift. Eyewitnesses said 2 Dangote trucks repeatedly speeding side by side on the narrow road when one, unable to avoid the motorbike, hit it from behind, crushing all 3 riders on the spot. Their remains were taken to a nearby mortuary in Agidi, while both trucks were impounded and moved to the Gboko police station for investigation. Chairman of the Gboko branch of Dantrans, the transport arm of Dangote Industries Limited, Adamu Alpha, described the incident as tragic. He clarified that the trucks involved were from the company's Ibese plant in Ogun State, not the Gboko plant. Alpha added that Dangote Industries now conduct weekly safety and conduct briefings for its drivers to prevent further accidents. The unidentified female victim's identity remains unknown at the time of this report. Last week, Dangote truck did ram and killed 8 people died and left about 16 or 15 people injured. This week, we equally have a similar news where 3 people have been killed. The fatality these accidents have brought and the profile of Dangote and how they intend to fix this. Let's talk about it.
You know, I'll be saying this for the often time, and I'm convinced that is the truth, that the Dangote system probably don't have a safety culture. If they have a safety culture, it should have shown in the way their drivers behave on the road. The average Nigerian road user, when he sees a Dangote truck coming, he doesn't feel safe. He feels like it's a near-death experience, and rightly so. This year alone, you probably would have off your head without doing any critical thinking, count up to 10 times we have had, or you know, within that time that you have had this type of report of Dangote truck killing people. It has happened in Edo, it has happened in now, I think it has happened in Kogi, you know, just almost everywhere. These are the reported ones. That there probably are some which are not reported. So it calls for caution, it calls for. And beyond the Dangote itself, we have not heard any report from the Nigerian government that they are doing something to. I mean, this is becoming too much. There is a Ministry of Health, there is a Ministry of Road, there is a Ministry of, you know, there is a road safety. What is the government doing to ensure that this thing from one particular source reduces? We can't continue this way. If they can't, you know, by themselves introduce a safety culture, we have a government that should force them into introducing. Then another is that over time, these drivers that have been involved in reckless driving, whether the ones that involved in accident, whether it was ghastly or fatal accident, you know, we have not heard of any of them being prosecuted, or the company even, I mean, the government instituting a lawsuit against the government. Let us not get carried away by the good work the organization seems to be doing. I mean, they have come to bridge the fuel scarcity in Nigeria, or the fuel supply issue in Nigeria. But that is not to say that the right things will not be there, especially where people's lives are threatened. If their safety culture is so poor on the road, what happens with those who work within their enclosures, within their system that the praying eyes of the media and the public would not see? I think it's something that should worry the Dangote, those who manage the Dangote system, those in charge of their logistics, you know, those in charge of their safety department, if at all they have any. I think it's high time they introduce, if they don't have it now, they introduce an effective defensive driving course for their drivers, and ensure that before their drivers are, you know, set on the road, there is a proper pre-mob for those drivers and the truck. There should be a culture, establish a safety culture that the drivers imbibe in. Even the recruitment process, the safety culture should start from their recruitment process, the truck they use. I mean, it's something that if they can't do it, I say it again, if they can't do it, the Nigerian government should have a way of forcing them to do it, because here, the life of Nigerians are at stake.
Right. Now, because this has happened a number of times, And in saner climes, individuals are open to even suing, you know, large companies like this, especially when you think about how, you know, the former Big Brother Nigeria lady, Fina, her sister Ruth, who was just done with school and, you know, taking care of her 2 little children, got into a similar accident as this and got her leg amputated. Why do you think civil societies and civil rights groups, even if the government is not coming in place to sue Dangote Group, why do you think other people haven't stepped in to try to sue the body, given that this incident can happen to anybody? Even though in the city we're currently in, there are no bikes around the up city where we live. It could happen to anybody just on...
The accidents have not been restricted to bikes alone.
They are not being restricted to bikes, yes, exactly.
In those states happened with a vehicle.
With a vehicle. And given that this can happen to any Nigerian whose only problem will be being at the place where this accident is going to happen, maybe going to buy bread, just being on the road. Exactly. Why do you think this company hasn't been publicly sued by civil society groups?
First, this is something the government can do. The government can take a legal action against them on behalf of the people. And I think there are agencies, even though I don't know, like, you know, there are agencies that, you know, that can take up such actions on behalf of the Nigerian people in the government. Then, like you said, the civil society organizations. But the thing is this also, the cost of litigation in Nigeria is expensive, especially when you are up against an organization like the Dangote organization.
Do you think that's why people shy away, because of the brand it is?
That may be it. Secondly, also, people are skeptical about the justice system in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you know, many people believe that it will not go through and it will take time. So if you don't have the financial muscle to take up that process, probably the process lasting in court for years, you may not want to start it, may not create anything. Then another very important thing is that Nigeria, as against a country like the USA, is not a society that is big in litigation. Good for us. Just, I think over the weekend I read somewhere about somebody, a customer suing one of the network service providers. I wouldn't want to mention the name, and got, you know, he succeeded at the lower court. The company appealed. It went all the way to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court upheld the ruling of the lower court and awarded him, you know, some damage, both for legal action and for the injury he suffered by the misbehavior. Let me use the word misbehavior of the network service provider. And it's something that should be encouraged. If for people that are big on litigation, some of the things that happen in Nigeria will not happen, not just with the government, with our organization. And the beauty of that is that it even helps expand our legal horizon. It also helps, you know, send a note of caution to people. If I'm conscious of the fact that I will be sued for acting, you know, in a manner unbecoming around a person, or as a business owner, the service I provide falls short of what I said I will provide, I could face some legal action with the, you know, the negative publicity that will go around it, and of course the compensation I have to pay. It will send some caution to me. I'll be careful how I do. So I think it's a culture Nigerians can take up. However, such cultures don't come cheap. Apart from the fact that it will take time to build. First, people have to trust in the legal system. And also, trusting it that justice will be done is one thing. Trusting that justice will be speedily done is another thing. If justice is delayed, they say justice delay is not justice denied. But in some cases, I mean, you may not even be, you know, have the luxury of time to continue the process. For how long can you even be involved in a legal matter? Remember, the longer it takes, possibly the more it takes protecting victims of accidents. You know, that specific thing is a thematic area for them. We have civil society organizations that deal generally with human rights, and also, and let's give it to them. Quite a number of them have their plate full. They have a lot to do, and we just talked about the resources here. They may not have all the wherewithal to go about it. And this is where also maybe some legal practitioners who can handle some of this matter pro bono could come in also if we have such people here. But of course, when you say matter is handled pro bono, to the lawyer prosecuting the he would have, suffered some cost, even though to the beneficiary of the services pro bono. So it also depends on how many lawyers do we have that are maybe not wealthy enough, maybe wealthy should not be the word, but are, how do I put it, that are in a place where they can comfortably take up some of these matters pro bono without jeopardizing their law practice, as it were.